Welcome back, Curios. Come sit with us as we start our Curio Book Club, guys. Now, before we get into today's foolishness, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Y'all know what time it be over here. And let's get this quick little recap going so we can get to the actual meat and potatoes of the situation. So, previously on the Thrill Club, somebody keeps doing things in Thalia's name that she says that she didn't do, like them phone calls she can't remember. Remember, she had blood, dirt, ketchup stains on her sweater, and a whole friend that is unalive. A whole bunch of stuff is going on. Her friends are starting to look at her very differently, especially Mara, because Mara said, absolutely not, not today. Okay. Seth has been supportive 1 minute and a little, I'm going to say off the next. Okay. He a little off. And now, where we left off, he's written another story for Thalia to read at the Thrill Club. Now, from you guys today, I want you guys to pay attention to what people are asking Thalia to do. Like, watch how she feels about those requests. Does she seem comfortable? Does she hesitate a little bit? And I also want y'all to think about it. If you were in her position, knowing everything that we know thus far, would you go along with it? Because to me, some of these requests seem a little, you know. But let us get back to the story and let's see what Seth, little off ass, wrote. Okay, let's put Oreo Jr. back here and let's get to our story. We on chapter 16, y'all. It's getting good. Sweet 16. Or maybe not. We don't know. Rudy glanced up. Wait, sorry, y'all. Rudy glanced up at the ceiling of his parents' basement rec room. Those water pipes up there will be perfect, he thought. The Thrill Club will love this. This will be the most awesome prank of the year. Oh, he a prankster. Rudy heard footsteps and turned towards the sound. His 8-year-old brother Pete, hey Pete, was standing at the foot of the basement stairs, peering at Rudy through his thick glasses. Hey, called Pete, what are you doing with that big rope? Rudy stepped into a folding chair and tossed one end of the rope over the exposed pipes. He tied a knot in the rope and stepped down, admiring his handiwork. This is going to be cool. I can't wait to see their faces. Hey, Pete, look, he told his brother excitedly. You know the ventriloquist dummy Dad picked up at the garage sale? The one with the bow tie and all those freckles. The one that's almost as big as you are. Pete nodded. He couldn't take his eyes off the dangling rope. Well, Rudy continued, the Thrill Club is coming over for tonight's meeting. When they get here, I'm going to have to make the room real dark so it's hard to see. And that dummy is going to be hanging from the overhead pipe, okay, with a noose tied around his neck. Okay. Pretty funny, Pete said. He would never allow himself to show any real enthusiasm for any tricks of Rudy's. Too much of Rudy's tricks were played on him. Oh, like that siblings. I guess that's siblings being siblings, because I guess me and my brothers used to do that kind of stuff to each other too. Pete put both hands around his own throat and pretended to choke. I'm hanging. I'm hanging, he cried. Rudy laughed. His little brother was always cracking him up. Maybe it's me, but I mean, I thought we said this baby was 8 years old. So is this an 8-year-old's joke, or is this how we make jokes at 8? Because wow. Anyway, everyone will come down into the dark and bump into the dummy hanging from the ceiling. Rudy said gleefully. They'll freak. They really will. Can I watch? Pete asked eagerly. Again, this is an 8-year-old. I don't know. Sure, said Rudy. You can hide in the closet. It'll be a riot. Great, Pete said, staring up at the rope. Don't tell mom or dad, Rudy warned. No problem, Pete replied. He scampered back up the steps, leaving Rudy alone with his project. Rudy opened the closet and pulled out the dummy. It was so real looking. Rudy almost felt as if they were having a conversation. Okay, you having a conversation? Okay. Hey, pal, he said, reaching out to shake the wooden dummy's hand. How have you been? Enjoying your stay in the closet? Dark enough for you in there? The dummy didn't answer. He just stared at Rudy with his glassy eyes and painted on smile. All right, thought Rudy. Be that way then. For the crimes of rudeness, he told the dummy, I sentence you to hang by the neck until you unalive. The dummy didn't seem to mind. He just sat there in his little plaid coat and bow tie, grinning his eternal grin. Rudy set the dummy on the couch. Your Honor, he said, addressing the imaginary judge, the defense shows no remorse. Rudy climbed back up on the folding chair, grabbing grabbing the loose end of the rope and began fashioning it into a noose. He had been a scout. Shout out to the Boy and Girl Scouts. Hey, y'all, it's almost Girl Scout cookie time. And earned a merit badge for not tying. Now his training came in handy. When he was done, the noose dangled ominously from the pipe, waiting for a victim. This is going to be way cool, Rudy thought again. He picked up the dummy and carried him over to the noose. He tried to slip the rope over the wooden head, but it wouldn't fit. Darn, I made it too small. He set the dummy down and climbed back up on the chair. Carefully, he retied the noose. This time, the opening was large enough. On impulse, out of curiosity, Rudy slipped it over his own head. Okay, Rudy, this sounds smart.
What is that you're curious about?
The rope hung loosely around his neck. This is a little weird, you know. I don't know if I would personally do this, but maybe it's just me, you know. Maybe I'm not, adventurous enough. What say you, Scott? Would you put a noose?
No.
What about y'all? Y'all put a noose? Because it just sounds, I don't know, it just sounds tragic. I don't know. See, he called to the dummy down below. There's nothing to it. The dummy grinned up at Rudy in silent agreement. Balancing on the folding chair, Rudy reached up to remove the noose. Hey! He struggled a bit and accidentally pulled on the knot. I don't know how you did that, but okay, sir. The noose tightened. Hey! Frightened, Rudy really started to lose his balance now. Uh-oh. Hey! The rope tightened more, cutting deep into his throat. Ooh. Pete, he choked. Pete, can you hear me? So you gonna call for a 8-year-old? Sir, you gonna traumatize that baby? Jesus Christ. Silence. Pete? The only sound was the creaking of the pipe over his head. Help! Somebody! I can't breathe! Clawing at the rope, he kicked back. He saw the grinning dummy looking up at him. A ghoulish, gleeful grin. And then Rudy felt the chair move as it fell out from under him. Oh! Rudy's final gasping cry as he swung over the floor, tearing helplessly at the noose until everything went black. Y'all think that the dummy was Slappy from Goosebumps?
That's what I was thinking.
Period. We all in sync. We all in sync with this thought because this is R.L. Stein and he did write Goosebumps. I bet you this is where Slappy came from. We got to look that up. Somebody look that up. Put it in the comment section. Okay, chapter 17. Excellent! Exclaimed Thalia. Seth beamed at the compliment. Okay, Seth. That That's an excellent horror story, Thalia repeated, shaking her head in admiration. Really outstanding. Seth continued to grin, pleased by her reaction. I know I'm not as good as a writer as you are, but I'm getting better. I kind of have a question. I have a question.
Okay.
Call on me, Scott. Call on me.
Curious.
Okay, if Seth is writing the papers for her, doesn't that mean he's already better than her? Like, what was that comment about? Like, sir, somebody gonna have to explain this to me because, sir, you're writing her papers for her while yet telling her that you aren't as good as her. Look, I don't get it. Okay, well, this is a weird couple, so whatever. Thalia stared at the horrible mass on the coffee table. Oh, girl. The story is great, but I feel uncomfortable, she confessed. About what? Seth demanded. I really don't want to read the story to the Thrill Club using Rudy's name. You know, after what happened to Chandel. But Thalia, can't we just change the name? Use Rick instead of Rudy or something like that, Thalia suggested. Why? Asked Seth. He seemed surprised by her suggestion. Why? Thalia was flabbergasted. Because it will just make everyone think of Chandel. Most of them already suspect, mostly Mara, that I unalived her, she added glumly. Seth's mouth curled into a thoughtful smile. That's a reaction. I don't know if it would be my reaction, but smiling while this girl is concerned is it's a reaction. That's why I think we should keep Rudy's name in it, Seth said. If you read this story tomorrow night, people will understand that you're innocent. What? Sir, somebody, how, sir? What? I don't, again, this man just a little off, just a little off. There's something that's not quite right. But okay, let me keep going. Thalia didn't follow his reasoning. Girl, we ain't either. Seth was smart, but his mind worked in strange ways. Girl, what she really wants to say is Seth is just a little out of touch with reality. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Remember the weird making out like Seth kind of weird. Anyway, how? She demanded. How could reading a story about Rudy accidentally hanging himself prove anything about what happened to Chandel? Girl, that's a good question. That is a question, sis. Simple, declared Seth. By reading another story with a real name in it, you'll prove to everyone that you have nothing to hide. That you don't have a guilty conscience. That everything is the same as always. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. Somebody get a little helmet. Bless his heart. His thinking is different. Thalia nodded thoughtfully. Girl, why? Why are you not? Girl, okay. Mm-hmm. What Seth said made a certain kind of sense. Okay, she a little touch to it. We just gonna add her to the list of touch people. There's only one problem, she said. Seth raised his eyebrows. What's that? Rudy will hate it, Thalia said. He'll think I'm out to get him or something. Seth shook his head. No way. You know Rudy has a great sense of humor. Besides, it'll ruin the story if you change the name. Everyone knows that Seth is the guy with the noose. Okay. He rigs those nooses, he rigs that noose up in his rec room every single time we hold the meeting at his house. Okay, Seth. Or Rudy. Okay, Rudy. He'll think the story is a riot. Really, Thalia? Thalia didn't know what to think. She wanted to read the story, but the final picture was just so gross. Rudy dangling, gasping at the noose, choking for air, Slappy grinning up at him. I'm just gonna call the dummy Slappy because I mean, something in my spirit says that this is Slappy, from Night of the Living Dummy, but I can't prove it. I can't prove it, but it just feels right. Should I read it or not? She asked herself. I have till tomorrow to decide. Hmm. If you were Thalia, would you read the story? Scott, would you read the story?
Not like it is.
What about y'all? Y'all put it in the comment section. I'm going to be very honest here. Okay. If this was me, I would tell them, yeah. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna read this whole story and then change the whole name while I'm reading it, and while I'm staring at them as I read it. With what did she say the name was? The other name?
Rick.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, and Rick, just looking at him, because sir, you're not gonna tell me.
Seth.
She should. Period. Yeah, she should. Period. Okay. Period. What Scott said. Okay, but let me keep going. After school the next afternoon, Thalia stared into the darkness of her locker. I'm forgetting something, she thought. What is it that I'm supposed to bring home? A hand fell on her shoulder and she jumped. Rudy pulled his hand away. Whoa, sorry, he said, seeming startled by her reaction. I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to say hello. Thalia felt foolish. She smiled sheepishly. I'm okay, Rudy. I'm so stressed out these days. I jump at anything. Rudy nodded sympathetically. He's so cute, Thalia thought, blushing at the memory of their kiss. Neither of them mentioned it in the days since it happened. And then, oh, wait, sorry. We're just friends, she reminded herself. It will have to stay that way. Girl, are you sure? Are you sure? Anyway, said Rudy. I just want to make sure you were coming to the Thrill Club meeting at my house tonight. It wouldn't be the same without you. Of course I'm coming, Thalia exclaimed. I wouldn't miss it for anything. She lowered her voice. Do you need any help? Can I bring anything? Do anything? Are you going to put up any creepy decorations? Mm-hmm. All that she said. Oh, yeah, Rudy said with a wink. I have something scary planned. He's putting up his noose again, Thalia told herself. Okay. Cutie Rudy Pie, honey. Let me help you out here. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but if you do the same thing every time, it's just not really scary. If everyone expects you to put a noose up to her and they're writing a story about it's her, it ain't scary. It's just you. Okay. Just saying. Just putting it out there just in case he wanted the advice. Period. Okay, now let's get back to this story. If you want, I can come over early and help you set up everything, she offered. Mm-hmm. Really? Rudy seemed excited. Thanks. I'm passing out to hear your new story and make out with you again. I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. I just made that up because I'm super creative today. Okay? That's what I'm doing today. I'm being very creative. Anyway, Thalia's heart sank. The image of Rudy's head in a tightened noose flashed before her eyes. Do I really want to read that story? Girl, we already gave you the answers, but okay. I'm not sure about this new story, Thalia said truthfully. I may not read it at all. You have to, Rudy insisted. Your stories are the best part of our meetings. Well, said Thalia reluctantly, maybe I'll read it to you first and see what you think. She touched Rudy's arm softly. What time should I come over?
Well,
how about 6, suggested Rudy. That should be enough time for us to put up the decorations and read the story. And make out a little bit. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, great, Thalia said. See you tonight. Ooh. Spring had finally arrived. The afternoon was bright and sunny. The air smelled sweet and fresh. Daffodils bloomed. Fresh leaves were beginning to unfurl on the trees. It was springtime again. It's so beautiful, Thalia thought, wandering through Shady Side Park after school. A fresh start. Maybe something will, or maybe everything will be all right after a while. After all, she heard footsteps rushing behind her and spun around to see who it was. Mara was coming up the path. She stopped when she caught up with Thalia. She was breathing hard, her cheeks ruddy from the exercise. Thalia, she gasped. Where did you ever learn to walk so fast? I've been chasing you for 3 blocks. Why were you chasing me? Thalia asked suspiciously. Is something wrong? Not really, Thalia caught her breath and smiled. I just wanted to talk to you about something. Rudy, Thalia thought. She must have been the one who saw Rudy and me kissing in the gym. Thalia braced herself. Girl, I don't think she would have chased you for 3 blocks. She would have been throwing rocks at you, trying to knock you out. Anyway, talk to me, she asked casually. About what? Thalia, Mara began. I know we're not the best of friends. And I know it's really none of my business. But I'm worried about Seth. Sis, I've been watching him through the window with my binoculars. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. About Seth, Thalia bristled. Mara had no right to poke her nose into my relationship with Seth. Ma'am, you poking your lips into Rudy's mouth. Even though that's Myra's relationship, ma'am. You better get it together, ma'am. Get it together. Anyway, she spoke sharply. What about Seth, Myra? Myra hesitated. He, well, I think he's cracking up, Thalia, girl. Me too. I'm so worried about him. I think he's totally losing it. Mm. Y'all want to know what I got my money on? You want to know what I got my money on?
Yeah.
I got my money on. He was probably in the house twerking to that headache music. Remember that music that Thalia was like, "Oh my God, it's giving me a headache," with that ugly mask on. Period. That's what I got my money on. What y'all got y'all money on? Scott, what you got your money on? Just, period. He twerking to headache music. That's the end of the chapter. We're gonna leave it on Mara talking about something wrong with Seth. I've been watching him through the window with a flashlight in the daylight. Yeah. Okay, Kira Book Club. I don't know how you guys feel, but I kind of understand why Thalia is a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, let's do our little recap. We started out with a new horror story written by none other than Seth. In it, Rudy plans a hanging prank for the Thrill Club that's old that everybody know he gonna do. By putting a noose around his own neck. The chair slips and the story ends with everything going black. It could be anything. Okay. Thalia thinks the story is good, but she doesn't want to use Rudy's real name after what happened to Chandel, and I don't advise it. I think it's not a good thing for her to do it. I think Seth may be a little off with his evaluation of it. Anyway, and Seth keeps pushing the idea that it's harmless and she should read it anyway. And to be honest, that is where I'm side-eyeing Seth just a little bit. Because Thalia is telling him something feels wrong, and he keeps talking her out of her own feelings, and usually that's a bad sign. Okay. Then there's Myra coming along saying Seth is totally losing it, which could be grief, it could be relationship stuff, he could be obsessing over them stories that he writing, it could be inappropriate makeout session, or him just being a little off like he is time to time. But Scott, what kind of losing it do you think she means? Mara, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, he's losing it like something's off when he's not acting right.
Okay, period. I don't, you. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I mean, just the more the story goes on, the more suspicious he is in all this.
Okay, period. Going on. Period. It's got all vague with it, okay? Well, to you, Curios, I'm gonna ask you the same question. What do you think Mara means by losing it? Put your comments in the comment section because we would love to hear them. Because for me, Seth is he's always been a little off, and even now Mora is starting to notice it, which is, a little weird because she like him a lot. So, but with that, Curios, we're going to end it here. Let me get Oreo Junior. Oh, of course, guys, as always, we enjoyed having you guys hang out with us. And hopefully, you guys enjoyed sharing some time with us as well. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, shorts, live, all that fun stuff. Understand that this is us just coming together, having a good time, and then going about our way, our day. But with that, guys, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. So, from wherever we are, even when we're like speed walking, trying to get away from Mora, who wants to tell us weird things about our boyfriend that we know is a little off, to wherever you guys are, peace, love, and happiness. And we will see you guys tomorrow for our regularly scheduled programs of Fairy Tale Friday with more Thrill Club, and then Saturday and Sunday activities. So, with that, we're going to end it here, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.